Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the FRS Championship Season 6. This is Division 3, and welcome to the very sunny Spa-Francorchamps. It is the Belgian Grand Prix, and is, of course, such a classic track. It is featured in all 6 FRS seasons thus far. It is one of the longest tracks on the calendar, 7 kilometers, 19 turns, and 2 DRS zones. That DRS zone down the Kemmel Straight, as you can see there, uphill up the Kemmel Straight, is one of the most important parts of the track, reaching a speed of about 210 miles an hour going down it. But this is the first action zone of the race. La Source, turn 1, one of the tightest turns you will see on an F1 track, and there's going to be 15 cars going through that on lap 1. Lake Combe, also the Lake Combe chicane at the very end of the Kemmel Straight, as you saw earlier, 210 miles an hour. It's going to be a lot to go through there. Of course, the softs, medium, and hards, the usual tires, 1.4 seconds a lap slower the hards are than the softs, but the big difference is how long they last. The softs will only last about 6 laps, which means tire strategy is going to be big here. Here's your championship order at the moment: Zados, Kali, Mazda, Sungjae, Blackbird, Dr. Shizu, Tez, Lee, Pepe, and Brad Spitt rounding out the top 10. Of course, there was no fast lap point given last week. So, that is all of the stats. Let's get into qualifying. And here we are. Here we go. I am joined by the lovely Space Ghost. Do not know.
Hello there.
He is still here. Hello there.
I'm still here. Just about alive and kicking. Just turning down the volume of this game. Because Ghostmasters decide that every device must have exactly the same settings. Or maybe that's Valve, I don't know.
So anyways, our
Why not
first car on an outlap is Batman, and Tez has joined. I see them down there.
Yeah, I had to phone him. He's a bit hungover today.
For that. He did do quite well last weekend for his first race with no assists, and he managed to get, what was it, P7, I believe?
Something like that, honestly, mate. It's been a bit of a busy week for me. I barely remember what I was doing last night.
You were winning on a Steam Deck. That's what you were doing.
Ah, yes, of course. What were you doing?
I don't want to talk about it.
No. Nothing about Stavilo. Was it Stavilo?
Yeah, what was Stavilo? As Batman goes onto the first hot lap of this qualifying session. Or game volume. There should be game volume. Is there no game volume?
Well, I had to turn mine down because it was horrific.
We'll turn it up a bit on OBS. Sorry for pausing the game. There we go. It should be a bit louder. Hopefully it's not just gone. I can hear the voice.
I find it very difficult for me to check because that means I have to listen to my own voice, right?
Unless you stop talking for about 20 seconds and let the delay go on.
But that would mean stopping talking. I appreciate I've just said that I both love and hate the sound of my own voice within the same few seconds, but you know. So Pathman's our lead car on a flying lap, yeah?
He will be the first one to set a time. He'll be the marker.
Looks like Tez has had a spin in Lacombe.
Yes. I think he touched the dead curve on the exit there. The other sector, but of course he is the first person to set a sector, so it was impressive on his own.
Unfortunately for these drivers, unlike yesterday, you can only really get one push lap out of the battery before you then have to either do a recharge before another push
Very lucky.
or come back in.
I'm very lucky to have qualifying because I crashed out of that as well. So what's going to be a 155.3 is what everyone will have to beat. Who's going to be the next one across the line? That looks like Rumrat in the house. Does it beat Pac-Man? No, he doesn't. Oh, 300ths of a second behind him. But Kali, the Alpine, manages to beat Pac-Man by almost a full second.
I was going to say 45.3 felt like quite a high bar to be cleared. I felt like that was very much a banker. Like, it's a strong banker, don't get me wrong, I couldn't go that fast, but oh, Braves.
In an unbelievable position,
It'll be P9. Can't see him now.
What position did he stop? He must have stopped on track. To let someone
Yeah, he was
pass
stopped
him.
where the
Brad Spitt has
Alpha.
actually is DNF'd. Oh, Brad Spitt.
Yeah, so the other car was stopped around where Brad Spitt was. In fact, just where you crashed last time I checked.
Did they collide? And in Petra? They might have collided. A lap there.
We'll just check the race director, see if we've got any evidence of a collision, but somehow doubt.
Mazda, who's actually gone provisional pole, 2/10 up on the Alpine. That's definitely a dangerous driver to keep an eye on.
The race director doesn't seem to think that they crashed. That said, the race director's not always right.
It might have just been they both seemed to have an incident at the same part of the track.
Lots of yellow flags coming up in Sector 2 at the moment. Looks like it's a slow-moving Haas.
Yeah,
He's getting out of the way nicely, though. Lovely camera angle from Codemasters there.
it seems like he's just getting out of the way of the rest of the pack. Let's go on board with Ivory Lightning now as he's about to come across the line to start his first final lap. Chat, let me know if the game audio is a bit fixed now. You got to hear the calls.
Yeah, Russ just keeping himself well out of the way.
I feel like I'm like somebody killing him. Oh, this sounds like a racist.
We've had the first exchanges. Is Sanji on a lap?
Ooh, Ivory Lightning with a purple sector 1 there into Lake. It's a lot of his battery left to use.
Does look like he's being reasonably sensible going when no one else is going. So wait for everyone else to go do their first laps and then, you know, come out the pits.
There's so much free air. Just look at the map. There's no.
At worst, he'll be catching people on their out laps on his in lap. So. I wish my telemetry was working properly, thank you. Sitting here with absolutely no idea how fast these guys are going.
I can let you know that Ivory is currently on 326 kilometers an hour. Hard braking into Bush chicane. He goes
Bit
quite
deep.
into the Bush chicane.
I feel like you can get away with that as long as you can get the power down.
He stays P10.
But it is a valid lap.
Is it all that? But you might have had a moment there that I can't see as I was looking at sitting in some of the phone. The excellence, but he's got a purple second win. I was expecting him to be a bit higher.
So it looks like. Did he charge it up? Has he got enough battery? Really? I mean, to be clear, if I've had a shocker, you do have enough battery to just about manage to pull yourself out of it if it's a really bad lap. So you might want to just do another one. The second round of laps is coming up from the rest of the guys. You're going to have Galley coming through first, and then it'll be Tez on the track, and then I believe it's Enad.
Drivers on their outlaps to higher top 7 on outlaps. But Kali is going to be the first one to come across that finish straight into source. And I'm struggling remembering all the names of the people.
Apparently you might want to turn yourself up a bit, mate.
Yeah, maybe just move my mic a bit closer to my mouth. That might be a bit easier.
It's all good, it's all good.
Here he goes, he comes down and he is a 10th up on his personal best. That won't put him ahead of Mazda though.
Very brave on those curbs there.
But it is a purple sector 1.
He's catching up on that Red Bull.
I'm getting mixed messages here for the chat.
That'll be Chibbles though. He's trolling you. He's trolling you. Just leave him alone. Let him deal with it. If it's too loud now, it's his own fault.
Yeah. There we go. Scotty comes through sector 2. We'll see what his time is against his personal best. If we get a purple sector 1 in the first part of the lap, that's 2 and a bit tenths up on the first best. It's a purple sector 2 again.
Where's the Red Bull gonna go? Come on, stay out the way, mate. Maybe go to the outside.
Well, also just down the first one, Raffle to jump up again right as Charlie finishes his. Can you hear me now, Chippets? Charlie coming across the line as a 144.0. I'm gonna just pull my mic up to the.
Yes, came across the line behind with a 146.0. That puts him at the back of anyone who's set a timed lap.
Because might be struggling. It's a very technical track with no assists. It can be difficult.
Be Blackbird up to the line next to Robert Pathman, if I'm not mistaken. Pathman's dived in.
So let's go with Massa, who is a 10th up. Or 10th down. Oh no, he's a 10th up. He's improved his own time, but he'll have to make up a lot of time in this third sector to beat the Alpine driver.
Well, he is pardoned. Mazda has set a faster lap. He's gone to a 143.9.
That is very close. It's nearly exactly a 10th.
Indeed.
Pepe himself. 5 seconds down his own time. I think he's going to dive into the pits, yes. Ooh, that is. It's his. I think he had a moment there. Either stubble up.
I think he's just doing a bit of a weird in-lap. Maybe he under-fueled. Because his battery's too low for him to have actually been trying. Unless he was trying for one of those sort of low-charge laps where you're like, well, we'll see if we can get anything out of it, because his lap was pretty untidy. Very important corner to get just right, and he seems to take a very nice line through the source. I was about to say you're about to have Blackbird crossing the line, but he was down and decided to dive it into the pits. Hard to keep up with who's abandoned and who's not.
There is a pair sort of swerving across the Rouge and become a straight. It might have just been a bit of a moment there from Chronicle, I believe it was. That's the only awesome I know on track. He is on a net lap, so he has to give way to the Mercedes behind him, which he does.
Nice to see when people give way, isn't it, on a flying lap?
They're hard to tell if he
It can be really difficult. Why not both?
Oh, and very close to the deck curve there in Blanchimont.
I think he's just trying to panic you, mate.
Oh, that was not a very good corner exit. He's not going to be happy with that. Let's see where he is on his personal best. He's 2 tenths down. And he already doesn't have a very representative time, I would imagine, for a person of his skill.
This is one of those tracks that shows you who's practiced, honestly. Like, the people who practice this track through the week will do well. The people who either A, don't practice, or B, haven't raced in a significant number of seasons, they don't do as well. Your microphone volume is still very low, my friend.
I don't know how to change that. It's on max. I can turn off gain on interface.
I think you should just put it on Supermax.
Supermax, yes. So this is literally the max of gain.
Oh wow, it's peaking now.
Is it too much?
Hopefully people can hear you, but
And it is.
let me. I'm gonna mute for a second. I'm gonna listen to the stream. You can talk to yourself, and I will.
Yes, sir. So let's go on board here with the master. Pepe is one of the closest rivals to. Or is that Gali actually coming around? That is Gali coming around the first chicane. I'm like a bit closer to the mouth. That's Gali in P2 now, only a tenth off the provisional pole sitter at the moment.
So here's what I recommend we do, mate. Let's grab the in-game volume and scrub it right down. I will scrub down my input volume this side for you, and you can just boost the general stream volume, because you sound loud enough when I turn up the stream volume to maximum, but it then makes the game volume absolutely drowning me out. So I'm going to turn my input volume down here for you, and you can just whack the old game volume down a little bit.
Game volume's at like 50 now.
Hopefully that should resolve it. Meanwhile, because we're just mucking about with tech.
Yes. Technical issues. Voice break.
Well, Madster's still at the top, so that's good news. We've not missed anything there. 43.9 is represented.
Gali is on a hot lap at the moment, and he's 4/10 down on his own personal best.
I think you mean up, and it would put him on pole right now.
Apologies, he is up on his own time, and that would put him quite well on pole, though Mansa is starting his own lap at the moment.
We've got Blackwood coming through sector 2, and he's cut a tenth off, but that won't get him up to that top 3 who are separated by a tenth.
You know what I think the issue was, and that is Gali 143.6. That's a whole 3.5 tenths up on Massa, and we can actually jump on board with Massa as he's on his own hot lap, and he is a 10.5 up himself. But
we had Pepe come through and pull himself up to P4 in the midst of that.
That's a very good showing by Pepe. They seem to be a good pairing, those Ferrari drivers. False taxi, you're saying that a 143.6 is around what he set in Div 1, which is very impressive then for Gali to be setting that here in Division 3.
Eyes will be on it.
Few yellow flags going around.
Got Tez coming up to the end of Sector 3 now,
and
but
Mansa has set a Sector 2, a purple Sector 2. It's going to be very close between these two drivers, I think. He was only a tenth and a bit.
Tez jumps to P6.
Tez, out of nowhere, he takes a checkered flag. That is the best he can do, but very good to come out of the back of the grid to the middle. Here we go, Matza across the line. Can he beat the Alpine? No, he cannot. A tenth and 300ths the difference between the two.
Dr. Zados looks like he's pulled 2 tenths off of his time, but it won't be enough to jump him up a spot. He's coming up to the bus stop now.
Yeah, we'll just see him as he comes across the line. A little bit of oversteer there, but he's going to come across the line. 144.0, 3 tenths off the Ferrari drivers, but I believe Ali will probably not. He is taking his time. He's on the cooldown lap. But
and then we've got Pathman, who will be our next time driver across the line.
Oh, here we go. Accidentally pressed the wrong number there. Let's see as the team leader comes across the line at P8. Oh, only 100 of his teammate. A 7-8 for McLaren. Very nice showing from them. They must be working well
Blackbird
together.
P6 is next coming down the track.
So,
And then you'll have... And that'll be it. That'll
Blackbird
be it.
has jumped into the pits. Yeah, he decided a P6 is good enough for him. So,
that is what she wrote.
Here is your pole taker in the pit lane already. Gali taking, I believe, his first pole of the season. But I think Dr. Zedos took it last time out, if I remember correctly.
If I had bothered to take notes, I would now be informing you. However, unfortunately, these first 2 races of the season have meant 0 notes for me.
But Dr. Lee here in P4, very actually, he's kind of just sneaked in there, just kept his head down. Just in there in the mix of all the other drivers. Very nicely done.
He's definitely improved across the week to end up coming P4. I was in a practice race much earlier, and obviously you're not running representative setups at that point, but the pace was not strong, let's just put it that way, earlier in the week.
Look at the whole grid for Patman's notes. There we go. Our pole sitter this evening, Kali in the Alpine. Mansa joins them on the front row. Dr. Zados and B. Lee, the second row. Pepe, Blackbird, Tez, Patman, Sungjae, and Rumrat in the Haas, rounding off the top 10. So, very close at the top. The top 3 are within half a second of each other. So there is a half-second gap between P3 and P4. Could we see a repeat of last week, where there's just a tiny group at the front of the pack, and then the middle kind of stays together for a majority?
Honestly, based on the number of safety cars we've seen in the division so far, yes and no. Yes, there will be, but the safety cars are probably going to shake all of that up.
We had, 5 full course yellows in Division 4 yesterday?
All I know is that my watch decided to tell me that my heart rate had been too high for too long and it was worried about me.
That was under safety car.
Your heart rate has been over 140 for 10 minutes. Are you okay? You do not seem to be physically active. Is that, wait, what?
And just a reminder for our viewers, there's no formation lap. And there's no, I think there is a fast lap.
Fast lap will count because there is no formation lap.
Because there is no formation. Seems to be a bug with the formation lap at the moment. Good job, Codemasters.
You fix one thing, break 2 more. So it will be cold tyres at the start. Chance of shambles is high. Something happened to turn 1 in Div 4 yesterday, but I'll be honest, I didn't see it.
I slammed into someone and got a 5-second penalty immediately.
Did it? Someone hit me, that's all I know. But they managed to point me perfectly to go down the next straight, so I was actually quite grateful because I was understeering.
They just nudged your back wheel.
Yeah, basically. I was going to hit P2, and they nudged my back wheel and helped me turn. Does feel like we're hovering, waiting for players for a little while now.
Yes, Patman.
Is this when they're setting setup? Is this the camera angle they give us, really?
Yes, you can see them on the grid there, left. Ooh,
those cameramen look really engaged. Look at them.
I think we're waiting on Stash as well to join up. But regardless, we will start in 10 seconds if they are here or not. And there is no formation lap, so we are go straight from the off with cold tires. So it will be very interesting to see into turn 1. We have 4, 5 lights, and we're off. Who gets the better start? Gali, whoa, swerving across. And Gali's spun immediately, and he's out, and he's hit into the.
He's taken 2 cars with him. How is he alive?
He's not out, but he's taken 2 cars with him.
He's taken Chronicle and Erbil.
That's a safety car for 4. Gali has even gotten around the first corner.
My word.
How has he survived
Big winners
that?
Yeah, it looks like Ivory Lightning might be taking damage, and
it's 5-second penalty for a collision with Sun Jae.
and gaining a place.
And
What's
for
going
gaining
on?
a place under safety car, I believe.
Yeah, so it's going to be lighting up his screen with all sorts of confusing messages.
Ivory actually
No
has
damage
10
for-
seconds of penalties already.
That's going to be one for the stewards to unpick, I think, because I personally didn't know what was going on there because I was trying to find the tyres. Just so that we can see what people actually chose.
Let's look at the tyres.
Our soft runner has died. Chronicle going for the aggressive start, but unfortunately
he aggressively ran into the front of the U-turn. Got it.
Right, so what I will tell those watching is that from lap 4 or 5, with the number of safety cars we had yesterday, you can take hards to the end. Just don't put your foot down too heavily in the final corner, and you'll be fine.
Yes,
okay, so we've got Zados, our front 5 running on mediums, Tez in P6, our first hard runner. Looks like the McLarens did quite well on that start. D. Lee, mediums. Lightning carrying those penalties. Medium.
2 places, actually. Well, I wonder
Yeah,
where they got the 2 places from.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and look, someone's binned it. That's the Alpha Tauri of
Oh.
Enad, I believe. It's binned it down where you did.
You could have freed that off every time.
Yeah. No, we've got to, right?
Oh yeah, and he has no front wing, but he is under safety car, so he gets that nice free pit stop. But it will mean that those medium tires will not see 1 lap. It'll be straight onto, I imagine, the hards for him. Let's jump into the middle of the pack on our highest hard set runner, Tez.
The fingers crossed as we get through more races this season, mate. I will learn the corners and I will not have to refer to them according to things that we both know.
I rely on getting that 10 seconds down to 5 seconds, I presume, in the pit lane. But what tires is he on? He is on hard, so if he does pit again later in the race, he will have to take another 5-second penalty.
Yeah, and but you will have those mediums to go back to because they've only done that 1 out and in. So he is effectively as if he had started on hards now. Worth remembering for those watching that you only get 1 set of hards, 1 set of mediums. So if you put a few laps on them, it becomes a increasingly awkward option to go back to. As Ivory takes it off the track on those hards. They're not quite hot enough. He's just gone into the gravel at the end of. I'm not going to remember the name of the corner because I'm rubbish. Lacombe, thank you. Yeah, so he just took a little excursion onto the gravel. Hopefully that will sort of wake him up to the fact that these hards take a lot to heat up.
They take a very long time. As I discovered bidding it the lap after a safety car and causing another
Now
safety
who's
car.
bringing up you crashing?
I'm going to take this bolt to have a sip.
One thing I found that's really useful for heating up those rear tyres is just to sort of rest on the brake and the accelerator. Just get those rear brakes really hot, get those rear tyres nice and heated up. Generally speaking, for restarts here, having the rear tyres more sorted out than the front will serve you quite well. I wasn't too worried about my front tyres on the restarts.
We will be going around for 1 more lap of Spa-Francorchamps, as Enad has yet to catch the back safety car.
It can call it as late as you see that little green dot the safety car's just gone through. I've seen it be called as late as just before the safety car reaching that dot, which is crazy. To be clear, that was in 2021 though, so that might be complete rubbish.
I believe now it tells you on the transition between sector 2 and 3.
Yeah, but then that's slightly more useful. We did have a couple of ropey safety car restarts yesterday, so here's hoping Zados, Div 3 driver, a little bit more experience, hopefully has a bit more of an idea of how to restart.
He was driving last season, so he may have seen your Baku instructional video.
I think I've got enough content to do one off the back of Division 4 yesterday, to be completely honest.
I think you do.
I think I might just take the old video, cut the Spa race in, and then I actually won that one. Yeah. So it'll make it slightly less false arrogance, right? Just real arrogance instead.
Just justified arrogance. Enad has now caught up to the back of the queue, so I believe this will be our last lap in yellow.
We will still have our... Oh no, we lost Galley, didn't we, from the front too, so...
Yes, it'd be interesting
We've
to see
got
him go through the pack. I'd say Pepe could even be on for a podium here. He seems to work really well with Mazda.
What we should see here then is Mazda and Zados streaming away from the pack a little bit, if I recall qualifying correctly.
Yes.
With Blackbird sort of being the unfortunate person who will end up being the plug in the bottle, but maybe they've got better race pace. We shall see.
Well, it depends on how they warm up those tyres as well.
Apparently, the brakes heating the tyres is not simulated at all in F1 games, which makes the fact that my tyres got warm yesterday when I was resting the brake and brake and accelerator even more confusing. I'll be honest, full stacks, I don't know what I'm doing. But if the number goes up, I view it as a good thing, and if as I restart on green rear tyres, then I'm happy.
Take the car in this. So, I say let's go on board here with our race leader, and he is slowing down the pack in Stavelot. Very nicely done.
I'm going to watch just behind Tez, being our first hard runner.
Zados making sure that the safety car has lots of time to get into the pit lane, because you don't want to, you can't overtake the safety car. Oh, and now he's accelerating. Oh, I think the game is throttling him a little bit, forcing him to brake.
I'm surprised it's forcing him to brake that far back. I thought he'd given enough room. I still wouldn't go that early myself, because you're threatening someone getting alongside you through bus stop.
Safety car is fully in now. Zados brings us around the bus chicane to bring us into green flag racing once again. Let's see, is he able to keep the lead? He seems to have already made a nice gap. It's a good start. Restart by the Red Bull driver. Coming into the source there.
Tez has gotten away well on those hards. Looks like Dealey was caught napping a little bit, but we'll see how well those hard tyres heat up for Tez.
So, through Eau Rouge. Bit of a lift there from Blackbird. Does Pepe have any run on any of them? No, none of them seem to be close enough to make any moves down the Kimmel Straight.
Gap has opened out to Pathman as D. Lee is trying to warm up his medium tyres by weaving down the Camel Straight.
Ooh. Not good or legal.
I mean, no one was trying to overtake him. If it's just to warm your tyres, I view it as kind of fair enough. No one really had a run on him.
Blackbird, our closest driver on track at the moment, 24 tenths to the man in front. Actually, a lie, Rumrat is also 4 tenths, but he's already lost 2 tenths coming through Bruxelles. Blue name.
Oh my word, side by side, and De Braves is around, P11 is around, he's stopped, and a massive crash. That was Enad. Crashed into the front of De Braves, who had been spun round. It was side by side, I think it was with Brad Spit.
That's another safety car. Safety car is out.
I mean, that was fair enough. A safety car on that corner. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah.
I was literally about to say it's been a very quiet restart. No one's tried to overtake, no one's tried to do anything. There was just an orderly queue, and then that happened.
I can't remember which way round it was, but either Brad Spit or De Braves decided it would be sensible to go side by side into Puon. And yeah, one of them ended up backwards, and then unfortunately Enad got picked up by the reverse De Braves, who somehow only lost their front wing.
Well, survived, just like Ali did at the start of the race.
Indeed. So
people spinning and surviving collisions.
Yeah, the critical thing to note, guys, is that the way to survive a collision is to have your car backwards on track.
Roy Weather, I think Bernd Maylander is leading this race at the moment.
Has he got the fastest lap as well?
Nice. Is there?
De Brave's going on to softs.
There hasn't been a full lap of green flag racing yet. I don't think. I don't think we've had a full lap.
Tez will be happy because every time there's a safety car, it becomes more likely those hards can go to the end, but those medium runners definitely won't be able to.
Braves taking the soft tires. I suppose he does have to choose a set to get his wing replaced, but he's going to have to pit again very soon after the safety car. Those tires will only go
What's
for
the Braves move? I am gonna laugh at myself, and I'm not gonna be sorry for it.
Where's my stopwatch?
Oh,
It's like a booze.
out the box.
Take a look at positions gained. Mansa with a very consistent P2 to P2.
I mean, he'll be happy where he's sat, to be completely honest. You know, it's very difficult to break the DRS unless, you know, Dr. Zados is carrying significantly more wing. I think we all know that the 0-0 wing setup has been much lauded as one that's difficult to overtake, but if you have got more wing, it is a faster overall lap, so you can sort of try and pull out a gap through Sector 2 and hope that the acceleration of those low wing cars through Sector 3 and 1 doesn't make up for it.
I'm not smart enough to comment on setups or car components.
If you think I'm smart enough to comment, you are very much mistaken. I am the crofty here. I have been told things, and I will rabbit them and repeat them whether they are right or wrong.
I mean, you haven't done a crofty and pass off your own joke as if it was your son's because you know it's a cringy joke.
Fortunately, my son can barely speak. Oh, as Galley has spun it.
Tez has got into the wall! After the Bush chicane of his own accord seems to just throttled up way too early out of the corner, or way too hard out of the corner. At the same time,
Galley has spun as well. And is that... Those are dark clouds. Is that rain?
Maybe rain, I'm not sure.
It's either rain or tearing because F1 has put it on the wrong monitor. One of the other.
That's bit with the penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I wonder what that was for. Maybe he accidentally overtook.
Probably overtook the recovering car. It has become very strict about what it considers a recovered car. That is rain. That is definitely rain.
Could have more rain in Spa.
Definitely a few drops there on the Camel Straight.
Thankfully we did not have any in the race yesterday, but we did have a wet quali. Oof. It was not fun. It's a long lap, regardless, it's an even longer lap in the wet.
I do feel that I want to have Remen's plugins in time for next week so that we can actually see the weather forecast rather than relying on me squinting at a very poor monitor.
You can have that. I don't have my second one.
That is quite a bit of rain in Sector 2.
Yeah.
People are going to be thinking about it. That might be what caught out both Galley and Tez. There was just those few drops of rain. Cold tyres.
It is without a doubt coming down now as you can clearly see the droplets on the Rumrat's cockpit view here.
It definitely, to me, doesn't feel wet enough yet. It's just whether those cold tyres justify the boxing now.
Safety car is in this lap, and will anyone jump into the pits?
I think if you're towards the back, you've got to. You've got to just jump in and hope that other people bin it.
Ramon, I do have SimHub installed, but I'm too dumb to use it. So I don't have it open right now.
We'll fix it for next week.
We'll fix it for next week.
Everything will be fixed next week. This is the time they pray to the lemon and quench everything. Wet conditions. Is he just going to dive straight into the pits on the restart, or is he going to risk it round?
He's going. Let's go aboard here with the McLaren driver. Get a bit in the middle of the pack.
And Galley does dive into the pits.
He has had a bit of a bad start to the race, so any kind of advantage he can try and pick out to get back up the order, he's going to take it. Rumrat gets past Sunjay there. Oh, they seem to be having a bit of a battle there. Sunjay has taken the position back.
Dry Rouge, surely.
Rumrat, nah, he knew that. Yeah, so that. I think he thought about it for a second and then he saw the drops. Just like
everyone looking at the
Pepe
attrition rate.
has actually just overtaken Blackbird on track to take out the two Red Bulls from the podiums and put two Ferraris into the podiums.
So let's keep an eye on Galley's delta time. It does look like he's closing. At least to the car in front of him.
At the moment it seems, oh yeah, he just gained 2 tenths there, and another tenth he is gaining ever so slightly on Ivory. And Rumrat again fighting with Sun Jae. They're having a nice old scrap there in the midfield. That's a car round, that's an Alfa Romeo, that's Brad Spitt. Thankfully he has not hit the wall, but he is completely spun around through Puan, I think it was.
They're just getting into the wet bit now.
Yeah.
And it is important to note that Galley has already taken a second out of his gap to the leaders. As into the leader.
Oh, he has taken even more. They took about a whole second through just those few corners.
So how far is he going to jump with that early call?
Yes. Rumrat's skidding a bit into that corner there that I do not know the name of.
Blackbird has just left the
jumped
session
into
on
the
my
pits.
screen.
It says
So
jump into
P4
the
is going to be AI controlled. As yet they do pit.
Zados and Pepe and Lee staying out. They think they can risk it, but you know, they could lose so much time.
I think the leaders who have stayed out have made the wrong call.
Yeah.
Looking at Galley's interval to the
Galley's-
lead car,
he's-
look to Zados, he's cut 4 seconds.
Yeah, he's cut so many seconds. And he's up into P6 from the back of the grid, from everyone pinning. P7, P8. He seems to met a few cars coming out of the pit lane here. He has. And
His tyres are up to temperature though.
Gliding past Blackbird into Eau Rouge. Great overtake there by the Frenchman.
I believe that's an AI controlled Blackbird as well, so just let's see how aggressively it attacks back.
I don't know what the AI level is set on here. Rumrat taking actually the podium there, position from D. Lee. He is still on the slick tires. Top
All of
four,
those guys
all
up
on
front right
slick.
now are losing time hand over fist. Our top
Potatoes
four.
might be doing a Lando Norris here, just hemorrhaging time for the people who have
I think
pitted.
we're looking at the net battle for the lead with P5 and P6. Mazda
Yes.
is now on those inters, so is Galley.
Gaddy is only a second on with other tires. And that is a pass, I believe. I think Rumrat had a bit of a moment there.
I think it was actually the Aston of D. Lee. He's going very slow. He's got Mazda right on his tail. Mazda's passed.
Just landed on, yeah. Decided not to bother him.
I mean, would you want to try and bother anyone on intermediate tyres if you're running on mediums, possibly with damage?
Short tires, yes, of course. Apologies. Lee and the top 3 are the only people on slicks at the moment. Everyone else on the grid on intermediate tires, which, as you say, gives Mazda the net lead of the race and also puts Galley into the net P2 of the race again. He's made an excellent choice there by diving into the pits.
It looks like we might see our leaders get as low as P9 after these stops.
See where they go. Galley with the fastest lap of the race. Now,
We did have very few racing laps in the dry, if any at all. Mercedes does manage to come out. No, P7. P7.
any car behind
Of course, I forgot to count the other two medium runners.
that is everybody on intermediates now. Mazda is now our net leader of the race, and Galley and Blackbird making out the podium positions now. Over 90 minute 3-second penalty for track limits, as Peter Ward proved a season or two ago in Silverstone. intermediates can go for a very long time, as Peter Ward did all 22 laps on the one set of tires. So if it continues raining for the rest of the race, I could see them just staying out. But it is a very long race.
I'll be right back.
So that is 10, 11, 12, 13 laps, I believe, remaining. Massa is just cruising on in front, 2.5 seconds to Ghani, and he is pulling away ever so slightly from him. Here we go, let's see if we can find a battle on track. Sung Jae going side to side with Patman. Oh, as they come up towards Stavelot. Oh, he has a really good line, but that's not a corner you want to be oversteering into. They're going side by side down the back straight. Oh, who is going to make it into this very tight corner? Patman has kept it, but they're going to be side by side going into the bush chicane. I think, oh, very, very tightly done there. Very nice defending from Patman. And a nice exit he got as well, but Sung Jae is going to be right on his tail. No DRS as we are in wet racing conditions, but Sung Jae seems to be doing very well as Dr. Zalos actually gets past the Bravs into turn 1 there, making up the places that he lost due to the late pit stop. There we go, and he's just kept the position really nicely done. But the Braves might have a run on him through the Camel Straight. No DRS, but no, he just doesn't seem to have the straight line speed to keep up with the Red Bull or to make any kind of move. Gali has actually cut that time down to only a second now to the Ferrari in front. Oh, Patman and Sung Jae fighting once more through Bruxelles. Apologies, and into no name. Patman seems to have lost that position. Just succeeded it to the Williams driver.
Apologies, I'm back.
We've had Sung Jae overtake Patman there for P4, and Gali has actually cut down the time to only around a second to Madsa in front.
Ivory's still carrying 5 seconds of that penalty, or is that someone else now?
He got rid of all of his 5 seconds and then got a 3 seconds for track limits.
He probably just felt like his scoreboard was a bit empty without the little flag. Sungji's alongside Blackbird now.
Sungji's just barreling off the order. He must have a lot of practice done in the wet for Spa. Oh, that is a Mercedes round. That's Ivory Lightning out of the race. Is that a full safety car? It is a full safety car. Let's see if we can go on board with Lee here. Get a it is in Stavelot. Very tricky corner in normal conditions, even more so in the wet. Lee just about avoiding the debris on track there.
Just got to get Bert to show him how it's done. So, Mylander? I don't know.
It's Burnline, yeah, Burnline.
No, I said Bert. I said Bert at
Bert.
first. He did that classic Englishman bastardising someone with a slightly different to Anglican name.
Lee is going to be happy about this. He is 20 seconds off the points at the moment, but he'll be back in the thick of it.
Needs one more driver, and hang on, we've got Brad Spitt and Ruprath swapping places under safety car conditions. What's going on there? I'm not sure who was in front before that little exchange, but
we'll see. Oh, Remrat has left the session. E9 is now being driven by an AI driver.
Did we see Blackbird rejoin?
I did not notice it.
The secret strategy to survive.
This is Spa in the wet.
Drop out and hope nobody notices.
We noticed. So we are nearly at the limit of safety cars. It's 5 safety cars is the limit. We were at 3 already, and we've just hit halfway through the race. Lap 11 of 22. We could very easily see the max here. The super max.
Considering how much that gap was being cut down, I don't think Madster's going to be too happy with Galley having an opportunity to leapfrog him at the restart. Hopefully it'll only be one lap behind the safety car. Fingers crossed we won't have to fill for much longer.
I think it is a 2-lap minimum, so like 1 full lap and then in 2.
Once the leader's caught the car. I'm just willing D. Leon. Come on, mate. Catch him up, get us back to racing.
What is your stiff drink this evening?
My drink this evening is rum, as it is most evenings.
What do you drink?
Spiced rum. So this evening, I think what is in this cup is... Which one did I go for? I have a selection of rums, like a bar, because I realised partway through lockdown, my measures were definitely not singles and doubles. They were more like triples and quadruples. So I went and got myself a bunch of optics to sort of try and control it a little bit. So what's it called? It tastes like spiced cake. It's like very sweet.
It's not Morgan. That's Spice Gold.
No. Morgan is on the shelf. It's Dead Man's Fingers. That's it. Because most rums are some form of pirate and or Caribbean sailor.
My personal favourite is Kraken. That's my personal favourite.
Kraken is on the end. That's a darker rum.
Good lad.
So I think at the moment I've got Dead Man's Fingers, 8 years aged or something, and then Captain Morgan, Kraken, and then there's one more. Do you know what? I've got enough time. I'm gonna walk out and have a look.
Thrilling content here in Division 3. As Space Ghost gives us the rundown on his drink shelf.
Oh, it's called Red Leg.
Red Leg.
It's like vanilla and ginger spiced rum.
Safety car in this lap. That's will have his own track. Blackbird has rejoined the session. I just noticed it.
Hooray! I reckon he heard us talking about him.
Just in time to be at the front of a pack that's restarting from safety car in the wet.
Hopefully the AI's warmed his tyres up nicely. You never know. This is a very close run to the safety car. Mazda is not slowing them up a lot. We might see a bit of a car crash at the bus stop if we're not careful.
He's just about timed it right.
And we've got Sungji round.
Sungji, ooh. Would he make up any places? Or I think Brad Spitt also has a run on them, but I think he just had enough space to the Aston Martin. Oh, Sungji, he was so fast in the wet in the earlier races. Oh, and he's nearly spun around again.
I'd get eyes on Pathman. We've got a group of 3 of them heading up to Eau Rouge that are getting very close together.
Oh, and Pathman's gone
Red Bull's
wide.
gone wide.
Pathman's gone wide as well, but he's managed to keep it in the track.
Rejoins the group.
Galley is very close to the Ferrari. They're going side by side through Lake Combe. And Pathman is the position there to the Haas of Rumrat. Oh, and Galley just sealing the position there for the moment. Let's go forward back with the McLaren driver. He's very closely followed by Rumrat's teammate, the Bravs. He is in a bit of a Haas sandwich.
P4 down to P9 is covered by 2.5 seconds right now.
It is a very close pack at the moment. Rumrat is coming up on the back of Zados as well. Oh, he surely won't try and move through Puan. He is trying to move through Puan. As he's going side by side. Oh, and he well out brakes, but did he go too wide? He may have gone a bit too wide there. Zados takes back the position.
For a restart, in the wet, these guys are going at it on the first lap, and credit to them for going for it.
Very nicely done.
I don't blame them, they've not had much opportunity to actually race, you know.
There goes the Braves, has a good run on Pac-Man. He might try and outbreak him. No, he's actually... Guy saw him lift there. Will he try and outbreak him into the bus stop? Ooh, he's going around the outside and then inside through the chicane. Oh, he's very close to the wheel of the McLaren. Oh, thankfully. Oh, and he actually, that little oversteer moment has made him vulnerable to Brad Spitt. Oh, but the Braves is trying to take it back. They're going side by side now down towards the Camels, or the, not the Camels, sorry, Eau Rouge even. Brad Spitt just that little bit ahead.
And onto the Camel straight. It looks like Galley's got a run on Madster if you want to jump forward.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Ooh, he has a bit of a luck, but I don't think he just quite has enough space to make it. Moment. Ooh, very, very close racing at the moment.
Full stack Senji lost it on the safety car restart and spun up his wheels from P5, I believe, or P4 at the time, and dropped to the back.
Not a good time to have a wheel spin when everyone's so close to each other. But that might try and repeat last lap's heroics and go through Puhan against the Red Bull again. I think he's just a bit too far back by it now. Ooh, a bit of a, I think, desync there.
Yeah, a bit of a rubber band.
Yeah. Ooh. Sung Jae, let's see if... Ooh, there we go, it's shift one, not one. Apologies. But he is getting very close to the back of Dealey there. Oh, he is sniffing that rear wing. But with... He actually does still have ERS, but he's not using it. He's that close to a driver in front. Might be trying to save it for a Camel straight, but with that much ERS, why not use it?
It looks like Galley tried to spook Madster this time around at the bus stop and meant that Madster got a much worse lineup to turn one. As Ruprath's left the session again. Might be laptop issues, isn't it?
Yeah, the F1 2022 is way more demanding on...
he is frying that potato.
Yes. Ooh, Galley having to pull out of going up Eau Rouge is... He was actually too fast for Eau Rouge and was about to collide with the rear end of Mazda. So he gets a run down the Camel Straight. Will he try a move until they call him? He won't, but Blackbird is actually caught up to our two leaders at the moment, and he might have something to say in this battle, and even
does very much feel. Sorry, does very much feel in the wet that Madster's sort of become a cork in this bottle all the way back to P5.
I would agree there. A lot of the drivers are kind of within only a few tenths of each other. They're very close, even a few laps after the safety car.
We had it yesterday, didn't we? Wet qualifying. What do you put on the wings? If they saw the rain in the race, you know, you're going to have a variety of setups here. And it might just be that Madster went a little too dry in his setup and hasn't got enough wing on, so he's struggling, especially through this middle sector, which is where we've seen Galley taking most of the time out of him.
He has been doing some very good defending to keep Galley off him. See, we have one Haas coming up on another as well.
Galley is much closer this time around.
On board here with Galley. There's a lovely, lovely line on the Ferrari. There, give us a good angles, please, Cody's. Going around the outside into the bus stop chicane. Then he keeps his line, he keeps his line, he gives us the space. And Galley has taken the lead. Mazda's actually pitted. He's dived into the pits.
Maybe he was carrying front wing damage then.
He may have been carrying damage. That's the only explanation I can think of right now. There's a lot of position changes right now. Pepe has replaced Mazda as the Ferrari in the top two, but now we have
Mazda's on mediums.
As the track dried up, I still see drops coming down as Pepe has actually gone.
Has he been jeffed? Because he's gone on 7 lap old mediums.
Ooh. It's either a big brain or he got jeffed, unfortunately.
He doesn't look like he's gaining. a big oof.
That is a big oof. It is another unfortunate bug as Rumrat rejoins the session down in P7 there, beside his teammate. That is another bug that has been prevalent in this game the past few weeks. Tires being reset just before you go into pit lane, so you get the wrong tires.
They get reset to whatever you set them to at the start of the race. Basically, your original strategy overrides. Unfortunately for Madster, dry start means dry tyres, and he has lost already 7 or 8 seconds purely to the
he may have to pit
tyre.
again.
And it's quite late. He's unlikely to get another safety car.
Unlikely, but not impossible.
I mean, unless one of the guys further up has something to say about it, I guess.
That pack of 4, 5, and 6 are all within 4-ish tenths of each other. 4, 5, 6 tenths. Yeah. Very, very close at the top of the order now. You can just feel as Scotty and then Pepe takes the fastest lap away from them.
So the track is getting drier. Is it just that Madster has gone too early?
Yeah, I don't think he will be able to make
Trying to have his galley moment. That was definitely the call. Galley is in the lead because of that strategy call.
Yeah, it was an amazing
recovered for his previous spin on the start.
Yes, it did start dry, Roy, but most of the dry portions of the race were under yellow flag conditions.
All of them were under safety car conditions. I don't think we managed to make a full lap without the flags coming back out.
So by the time it went...
Sengji is now on mediums.
Sengji, let's confirm that. He is. He's on new mediums. Track may be drying every so often. I can't speak. But with 2 drivers on slicks, I don't know. I'm still on board here with Pepe, and I can still see the rain coming down over the camera.
5 laps to the end. Is it worth a pit stop? In my opinion, no.
I don't think so either. But that is their decision to make. As we have the 2 Red Bulls here. Oh, Dr. Zados, a lot of understeer into that corner P14, I believe. DRS is enabled. The track is drying up.
Dry. But Madster's already lost a good 20 seconds to driving on those slicks in the wet.
Yes. Let's see if any of the front runners will decide to pit for maybe some softs here near the
If you're
end.
on Pepe's seat, I'd debate it. And he doesn't.
Oh, Gali is pitting. And so is Blackbird.
Galley and Blackbird.
As Pepe sets the fastest lap there. We have a different
Only
Ferrari
4 laps.
in the lead now. Pac-Man makes his way
Maybe
into the
Pepe was just doing whatever the car in front doesn't do. Zados is a little deep. Pathman's on him.
Pac-Man does have a nice run on Red Bull into Eau Rouge. Ooh. And he will
Soft
have
tyres
the
going
DRS.
to Galley, Blackbird and D. Lee.
Pac-Man with the DRS down the Camel Straight. The first time we've seen the DRS all race. Oh, and he very nearly gets us. Dr. Zados was quite wide until they come. Oh, Pac-Man had a bit of a luck there. Down into that very tight corner for Bruxelles, but back to Alibus just in time.
So looking at the gaps, even Galley on the brand new soft tyres running P7 is losing time to our leader on the intermediates at the moment. Obviously that could quickly swing in the other direction.
It could be a case of the final lap or 2 are dry, and that would mean that they'd have to have the laps of their lives.
Brad lost his rear end a little bit there, and Brad managed to get himself through.
Yes, I saw that. Very good move. Very nice awareness from Rumrat. It's definitely improved. He was a rookie there last season, and he proved himself in Division 8 or 6, I believe, actually. I think that was the last division we had, and was immediately brought up into Division 4. Here he is in Division 3 and doing better all the time. P4 at the moment. Very nice.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Who do you think's going to win? As Dr. Zados pits now.
As Patman, yes. Patman takes the lead of the race, but is it the net lead?
Is he going to risk staying out? Galley has now closed by about 2 seconds on his gap to the leader. But 2 seconds isn't enough. He wouldn't catch Pathman, but is it drying quick enough?
Yeah. I do not know. I'm trying to think here, but I think because when Pathman comes around the bush chicane, there will be 3 laps remaining. Will there be enough time after that? Oh, bit of a yellow flag there. Sector 1, that's Rumrat, I think, spun round in the pit lane. Good job to not get a DSQ there. I think, like, Patman has a gap of about 13 and a bit seconds.
So he's lost about another second.
Yeah.
Through this lap so far.
Big on board with Galley. You can see him. Yeah, the track does look much drier at the moment.
But the thing is, these soft tyres only have sort of 3 or 4 good laps in them.
Yeah.
Good laps.
Patman might risk just taking it to the end. He has nothing to lose. Well, he has a lot to lose, but not a bad strategy.
Well, to be fair, he'd already lose a lot at the moment. If he pits now, he's probably going to come out around P7, based on the amount of time he'd lose. So honestly, I'd go for it, mate. Go for it.
Yeah.
Based on the current rate of closing, he'll end up somewhere around P4, P5.
You know, if only we had Ramon's SimCube or SimHub to be telling us how fast he was gaining.
The Pathman's just plugged in a 1:53.1.
That is 2.5 seconds faster than his own personal best.
And then as we look at Galley as he crosses the line, it's a 1:50.2. So 3 seconds a lap. That's not enough time. He needs to go quicker.
And there is still a few drop that's falling. And Galley's tires, like I'd say Galley will be pushing those softs to the max, so they may drop off very quickly. Especially around Spa is such a high degradation circuit.
Proth pits again, which basically guarantees that Pathman shouldn't drop outside of the points, even if he has to.
Yeah. So it's points regardless. So, and I think he will just take these tires to the end.
I've not looked at the wear patterns on the Inters. For all I know, they're going to explode in a lap.
My heart is kind of going because I genuinely don't know, because it is just a Frenchman chasing down a Frenchman. That's what it is at the moment, and it's just a race to the finish to see, like, is Galley cutting down that time enough in 3 laps?
It does look like out of some of the wetter sectors in Sector 2, Pathman is taking time on the drive, like as he drives off the corners. I don't think these guys are partisan commentary box, obviously, with us both being McLaren drivers, but I'm willing Pathman on. Come on, mate. So we cross the line again. Pathman puts in another 1:52, 52.1.
On board with Galley, 152.1 versus 148, another 3 seconds. Taken out.
Still not enough. 2 more laps.
2 more laps and 7 seconds the gap.
It is a big pack that's catching up with Pathman though, but they will catch him in Sector 2. So he might still manage to keep a hold of a podium at this rate, even if they manage to catch him.
It is one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass.
I think it all comes down to where they catch Pathman. If they catch him after the Kemmel Straight, they've got less of a shot of overtaking. If they catch him before the Kemmel Straight, then I think he's going to be losing a lot of places. And it does look like that rate of closing is increasing.
Yeah, a good point was Roy Weather points out there that the track conditions visually is just a binary kind of setting. There's no dynamic. It is either fully dry or fully wet, like visually anyways. So
I agree, Knack. I think he'll catch him. It's just where.
yeah. But what with Galley, Brad split with a 3-second time penalty for track limits. At a 3/10 up on his own personal best. He is definitely catching that papaya colored car, but as Space Ghost mentions, it is exactly where he catches him.
If I was in Pathman's shoes, I'd be saving up some hours for that drive. As you can now see, as Pathman exits the bus stop, Galley entering.
2.5 seconds now on the final lap of the race. Oh, apologies. And I don't know.
I think we're going to see a couple get past him. A couple will get past him, but it all depends on how aggressive Galley gets in his overtake.
He will have the Urs. He's not actually using the Urs down the Camel Straight.
Doesn't need to. He's saving it for that last corner.
Good intuition there, Mr. Ghostman.
Sorry, he's saving it for where you crashed.
Yes.
I know, I got it. So how many will get past? I reckon Pathman's got a nailed on P5, even if these guys start to come past him. It's just how many can get past, because this sector 2 is difficult to pass it. But they might just be able to drive straight up the inside or straight around the outside.
Getting within half a second now of McLaren. Oh, he's really on the back. Pathman's red flashing light going there.
He's just going to drive around the outside of him, surely. Oh, a little bit of a rubber band back.
As they're going side by side through Stavelot, and Galley easily takes the position there. And now we have Pepe in the Ferrari.
Has saved his Urs for the rest of the lap, so he might be safe to bus stop for a surprise podium here. Oh, wide. Those Inters are going to be screaming.
Pepe has a very good ride over. He goes really wide. He goes so wide into the bus stop. Oh, that's going to be a penalty for cutting the corner.
And Pathman gets P2.
Pathman with P2, but Galley takes the race win, and Pepe with his first podium of the season.
I'm not sure if that podium will stand. I reckon Dr. Zados will have something to say about that, considering that last corner, but we'll see what the stewards have to say.
I hope I got that Pepe stat right. I believe he did not get a podium last time out. I should remember that, but god damn, what an ending to that race. Only a second between them at the end.
I want to say not a partisan commentary box again, but I want to give Driver of the Day to Pathman for giving us a very enjoyable end there. And Galley came from the back, made the right.
Personally, I would give it to Galley. Coming from the back.
Managed to nick that fastest lap at the end.
Yes. Though, I don't know, did Galley get any time penalties for the collisions at the beginning?
That's one for the stewards to decide, my friend.
Yeah, I don't think he got any from the game, so he may lose the win in the stewards room.
He may have chosen to voluntarily serve them. I mean, I would have. I mean, I did in Division R. Sorry. Yeah. So we'll see.
So, like, Pathman could potentially, if Galley does get a penalty in the stewards room, he could potentially just nick that P1.
We'll see. As far as I'm concerned, people are hitting a stationary car.
Yes.
As long as there wasn't any movement from the spun out car, then it's fine. If they moved and there was slight contact because they moved, again, I wasn't particularly paying that much attention to that sort of thing. Look at that best lap time though. Pathman's 152 versus the rest of the field who got onto those dries.
So Mazda does nick the fastest lap point, taking P10, so he will get 2 points there this evening, but Galley with the race win at the moment. Pac-Man and Pepe rounding out the podiums. Dr. Zados, Blackbird, D. Lee, Sungjae, The Braves, Brad Smith, and of course Madsa rounding up the top 10. Multiple driver DNFs here in Belgium. And it is the lovely Austin weather next weekend in the lovely Kota. First trip to the States.
Looking forward to it.
So am I. I love Kota. Sort of. I have a love-hate relationship with it. So bring us over to the old screen for the stream. So very interesting in terms of the championship as well. I think Dr. Zados might just... Gali will be at the front at the moment. He was P2 last time out and P1 at the moment. Very good start for him and very good strategy-wise as well.
Yeah, I think both of our top two made good strategy calls at the time. I think Pathman made the right call. I don't think he'd have had the measure of the other drivers if he had chosen to pit in terms of pace. I think he had to do something different. Made the right call to do that. Obviously unfortunate to lose the top spot on the last lap, but Gali again made the right choice for his race. He had the pace.
Very nicely done, and hard to separate the two drivers at the end. It was only a second, even with that pace differential. It was only a second in the end. But as always, I believe there is nothing else to say. It is the lovely Circus of the Americas next week, next Sunday, and I guess we will see you all there.
Yeah, we'll work out which corner to call the one that one of us crashes at, right?
Yeah, of course.
See you next week.
Thanks everyone for watching. Ta-ra.